They're speaking in Spanish, and then they'll say something in English, and it just throws everything off.
If you have it, like, Persona is like the music is slightly offbeat.
I'll do it. They're gonna follow me.
Or you know what you could do? Make a little crumb trail of pizza out in the hallway.
I like that idea better.
No, you don't use a stick, you use your face. Like the whole point is to just like jump into it and bite it.
Yeah. A pizza pinata?
Yeah.
And the toppings fall down or something? Like, is this dough? And then you catch it?
We did that, we definitely have people help.
And so there's lots of talk about how he does this and how he works as a getaway driver, but they don't ever really show it because it's not important.
It's about how, Nicholas, the director, and that's how it was.
Nicholas Winding
Yeah, Refn.
Something like that.
Um,
He's Dutch or something.
although Drive is probably his best film.
What was it? I heard that Neon Demon wasn't very good, or was it the other one?
It's stylistically beautiful.
Well, once they started getting into those two things, they realized that the world really wasn't structured the way we thought it was. That rather than being simple, the world is complex. And that they needed a new mathematics, for instance, to understand. Any of you guys math majors? Neither am I, so I'm not so good about math. But they had to come up with a non-linear mathematics. So that in linear mathematics, 2 + 2 = 4.
Amendments that they're committing against, and then that's when it gets like, but this makes better sense. But this is like the Supreme Court is the land of all laws, so you're just gonna have to go with what it says in the book, even though it makes absolutely no sense.
Even though it makes
Sometimes.
no sense. Exactly right.
Most times, 90% of the times. Look at Zimmerman.
Yeah.
And of course, students don't like complexity on test. They
I
want
like
exactly
complexity.
what most of them want to know exactly what the answer is. Don't tell me this way or that way. Don't tell me their option. Tell me exactly what the answer, and I'll give it to you on the test, because they want to score 100.
I don't want the test that says sometimes this, never this, all the time this. Only a little bit of this.
It's much
All
less
my
of a problem in
science tests.
English specifically, because it's all about like
Subjectivity.
subjectivity and argumentation. So
Do you believe in truth?
it depends what you mean by that, I suppose.
That's the truth.
Most of us want truth. We do. We like that. I want to believe that there is a truth that applies all times, all places, in all situations. Complexity science says, nah, there ain't no such thing. It's always probabilistic. And once you feed back into it, it changes. So what was true yesterday may not be true today.
I will come home from school and just turn on Vincent D'Onofrio.
That's the only thing that be on in my house. I don't know what I'm like, okay.
Well, Food Network has kind of become like a game show.
Yeah, game show-ish, as in you showing your talents, as in if you can
Very
be
American.
head chefs.
It's not profitable to have like instructional TV shows. So they're
Yeah,
like,
you're
One of my
like,
favorite
we're gonna
ones.
make this into a contest series. It's just like, it's the entire premise of the show is just like, we're gonna have a fight scene, and then at the end of the fight scene, we're gonna completely rewrite everything that happened in it, and the
Are you
good guy's gonna
serious?
win.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious
That sounds
every
awesome.
single time.
It just explains about
what? She knows
the
that.
life, like things that we can't see. It's just literally the title.
So basically, she pinpoints everything that people normally don't look at. Anyway, she really could.
No, I'm actually
You read more than me. So if the book don't have murder in it, or like anything about somebody, like it's like you gotta be like a twist and like
So somebody else died.
somebody got
And
died,
really
or somebody cheating on
or-
somebody. I'm
Okay.
like, hey,
Alright.
this girl.
Drama.
Right here. Yes, they gotta be dramatic, like something like you'll go and watch and see on the movie.
I
Okay.
hear you.
I can't just read a book and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. Like anything
Doesn't
deal.
have to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be.
Unless you gotta use your own imagination, like like Steve Smith, like something like just get a character a different name to make you want to watch it, like read it. I don't really read books
Okay.
because I'm not a book man. Well, man, I came to show support.
Yeah, I came for support for Tiffany. Where's she at?
She's
Right there,
Right
It's right there.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I don't even pay attention.
It's just Dan Salon, like Parker Industries. I'm like,
Okay,
no.
yeah, it's still Parker Industries.
can't.
They're perfect.
Okay.
Tranquil, I'm picturing.
Very calm. Which some people confuse with tranquility and peaceful.
Lysander Cicernos, and that was what I did for my capstone project. I did triple consciousness. So following W.E. Du Bois' theory of double consciousness, where one can be African and one can be American in the United States, but it's a peculiar sensation because they see themselves through the eyes of others, basically. So they're measuring themselves by like other people. And so with mine, Du Bois was only restricting it towards African Americans. So what I did was, I was like, well, he was trying to say that they weren't seen like inferior. Like African Americans, they didn't want to be seen as inferior, but they live a different life than just regular white Americans. So what I did was like, well, Lala, in my book, the protagonist, her name is Saleha Lala Reyes, Lala, and she's Mexican, American, and then I was like, well, Du Bois left out gender, and she's a female. She still has to take all three of those aspects into consideration because she has all three of these competing identities, which makes it hard for her to have a harmonious, whole identity. She cannot identify because she tries to identify with being like Mexican. She tries to she tries to establish that she's American, but they'll be like, well, you're too Mexican for that or something, or like her family will reinforce negative stereotypes that like pull her down from being Mexican, or like just the customs of English.
Okay, so one of my favorite things in anime is there's always the character who wears glasses who's the best friend of all. You okay?
Tiffany and her alien language. Some far off
Read
place.
books, taking me to law school.
Read books, go to school, don't do drugs.